Hello and welcome to the first Breeding to Win show of the new racing season, and a hearty congratulations to all the past champions who will be crowned at the 2019 Equus Awards on Tuesday the 13th of August at Empress Palace. Let's hope the new racing season is as exciting as our last. Right now, let's take a look at what's coming up on tonight's show. The Breeding to Win team brings us a highlights package from the Klavervlei Stallion Day. We chat to Jessica Gell at Maritzfontein. We bring you an update on Flower Alley. And last but not least, we meet Time Thief. Klavervlei Stud hosted some of the Cape's top breeders out at the Klavervlei Stallion Day, which took place last Monday. The Breeding to Win team were there to bring you this highlights package.
Where does the time go? It seems like only moments ago we were here at the Klavervlei Stallion Day, and we're here again for the annual Stallion Day, and there are 7 absolutely fantastic stallions on show this morning. Really looking forward to seeing them, and the people are rolling in. It looks like it's going to be a really fun event once again.
Ladies and gentlemen, huge privilege and a pleasure to have you all here today again to witness these most magnificent of all animals. Stallions they are quite awesome, and no matter where they stand. First up is, we're going to do it in alphabetical order, will be Captain of All. He's had a great start to his career. 38 runners so far, 14 winners. But the wonderful thing about this horse is that he's had 74% of his horses have either won or placed. And that's a massive stat. He's still got a lot of foals that haven't even been named yet, that are still due to run. And I know a lot of trainers are telling me that they are waiting for them to turn 3. They tend to be a lot more leggy than he himself, but high quality individuals. And if you look at the buying bench, who's all bought Captain of Alls this past year, it's extremely encouraging. He's got a fantastic syndicate behind him who support him incredibly well.
Captain of All is another horse I was exceptionally impressed with here. I saw him last year, obviously, and he was, in my opinion, if you look at the numbers and his times and performances on the racecourse, I thought he was the best sprinter South Africa's had since National Colour and National Currency. Before that, he was a real good horse. He won that Golden Horse at Scottsville with top weight, and he defeated Gulfstorm well, who came out to be a Group 1 winner after that, and his Mercury sprint run was phenomenal. So he's a real super sprinter, and he's had 14 first crop winners. He's in a duel there with Vercingetorix for champion freshman, so he's done really well, and the Captain L sons are doing nicely, and there's a bunch of them now.
The grand old man, ably led by Alan Nell. Next on the list is Coup de Gras. He had magnificent books in his first 2 crops. His first crop sold extremely well, averaged over 200,000 Rand, and he's also in most of the big studs around the country. He stamps his stock. He throws a lot of chestnuts with a lot of white, and they look extremely fast. So we're really excited about his first 2-year-olds coming out this year or next year. Coup de Gras, he's by Tappet, and as you all know, Tappet, one of the great stallions of all time. And it's been very interesting because we've got quite a few international clients on the farm, and they are choosing the Tappets and the Uncle Mo's and those kind of stallions.
Coup de Gras, he stands out. He's got that little bit of look about him of the States. He really does look fantastic.
Yeah, I thought he was fantastic. You know, he has a great colour, and sort of as all the stallions here, they're all exceptionally well looked after. So we're surprised with how he looks in terms of being a sprinting sire, but clearly he has the speed in him. And for us, especially in this industry, in this country, we feel that we need more speed. You know, there's a lot of classics out there, and for us to have more speed is important, and we're banking on him to be the guy for us.
Next horse is Pomodoro. Very special horse to us, as you all know. Pomodoro has the backing of one of South Africa's greatest trainers, in my opinion, Sean Terry, and Sean's made he keeps on telling me if he had to choose one horse going forward in South Africa, it would be Pomodoro as a stallion. Sean's still got a great deal of Pomodoros that haven't run yet. But what we've noticed as well is that a lot more of his horses are being disseminated amongst other trainers as well, which is also good news. Looking at his stats, his first runners now turning 4 this year. He's only had about 14 horses that have run over a mile to 1800 and about 12 above that, 1800 to 2000. So we believe that a lot of his horses are going to start going over more ground now. So there's lots more excitement to come from Pomodoro. Last year, he covered 136 mares with a 94% infoal rate, which is outstanding. So he's got everything to come.
Chris, Pomodoro, very close to your heart. He looks absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely. You know, I think it's the best. I've seen him now for a few years. This is the best he's looked.
And he's doing well on the track as well, getting results.
Well, good start. Let's hope it carries on. And if we're lucky, there may be another group winner in his second crop as well, which would be great for us.
Pomodoro is probably one that's quite close to your heart, but didn't they all look amazing?
Absolutely. I congratulated John. I said, you know, I didn't think they'd looked as good in winter. And the Irish lad that did some of the showing, he said to John, and now he has shown Galileo and many big stallions from Coolmore. He said to John, he has never seen a band of stallions look this good.
Pomodoro, he was really on his toes, wasn't he?
He always is, and he actually prefers to be out in the paddock, according to John. And yeah, he's a very highly strung horse, and well, he's doing it.
John says he's quite a character. He was sweating up just at the sight of the tablecloth, so quite a character.
Absolutely, yeah. He stands on his back legs, and yeah, he's a great athlete.
For Royal Mo, the son of the mighty Uncle Mo. Uncle Mo, we all know about Uncle Mo. He's just setting records all the time. And you know, when you look at the comments from Bill Oppenheim and these other gurus, and they say that Uncle Mo's had the same start as Storm Cat and Danzig and AB Indy. I mean, it's just phenomenal to be able to have a son of Uncle Mo in South Africa. In spite of his injuries last year, he still ended up with a very good infoal rate. It wasn't ideal. You all know that he got injured last year. But from this year on, it'll be full steam and all systems go.
You must be chuffed to bits, Heinrich.
Yes, I think he's led down very nicely. Looking forward to his first foals coming soon. And we'll see what they look like.
Such a big horse, isn't he? He's about 17 hands. He's just huge.
Yes, I know he is, but I still think he's got a nice proportion to him and still very athletic despite his injury. I thought he walked quite well this morning.
Next on our list is Twice Over. Oh, what a great horse. What he's done on the track so far has been nothing short of phenomenal. In his first crop, to have 6 horses that have contested feature races and to have produced a horse like Do It Again. And we have to mention Do It Again. No horse, I mean, it's just incredible to see what this horse has done. I thought he was very unlucky in the Met. He's a horse that could have won the July, the Met and the July again, plus the Queen's Plate in between. If he stays sound and all things going well, could we ever dare to dream that he could do the July again next year? So when a horse is able to throw a kind of horse like Do It Again and others, he is a serious stallion. He's got a wonderful shareholders that support him greatly. He consistently gets over 100 mares a year, and we're very excited about what's still in the pipeline for Twice Over.
Exciting times ahead because we've got new and young, fresh blood, fresh stallions on the block, and of course, there's Twice Over standing here. We know what he's done with 2 July winners. So, I mean, John's got a fabulous band of stallions here.
He has. We all have our favourites, I suppose. It's when you're watching them parade, you know, you're choosing. Wonderful show. All the horses look fantastic.
Okay, last on our list, William Longsword. I don't know, for me, probably one of the most popular horses in this country for a number of reasons. His exploits on the racecourse and the way that he did it. And I mentioned it last year. Great to have MJ and family here today. The only stallion that I've ever been involved in that 3 different jockeys have bought shares in the horse. And if that doesn't tell you something, then nothing else will. And all 3 of these fellas have told me when they sat on this horse, it was just different class. They were blown away by this magnificent beast. Very exciting for us to send his first crop of yearlings to the sales next year. And I love going down in the mornings to the foaling nursery to go and see the new foals. And Caroline phoned me one morning, so excited. She said, you've got to get down here as soon as possible. They'd had 4 or 5 that night. And I think her analogy of it was so beautiful. She said they're all born in suits and ties. They look like James Bond. So Captain Al, together with Fort Wood, we know that cross has produced 24% stakes winners to runners. His mother has already produced 2 Group 1 winners. He's got a fantastic syndicate behind him. Last year, he got 128 mares. He got 124 in foal. That's 97% in foal. He's absolutely deadly in the covering barn. And I think he's a horse that a lot of people are really, really excited about.
Pete, you must be absolutely delighted with the way he's looking this morning. Absolutely fantastic.
Oh, he's such a stunner. We absolutely love him to bits, and he's looking beautiful this morning. Looked like he was polished for the occasion. Can't wait to see his foals next year, and I'm sure they're going to sell well. We've seen a few. We've got 2 ourselves, so we're thrilled to be putting them up for sale. Be sad to part with them, though, I'm sure. But he's thrown some beautiful foals, I must say.
He just looks phenomenal, doesn't he? He's got these big, amazing jowls, and he's got a great temperament, and he's got a stallion's pedigree. And I was at Ridgemont Highlands yesterday, where we bought a lot of our mares, and we have a couple of Williams there, and stamped with the same shape. And the better quality specimens of our yearlings there, soon-to-be yearlings, are all Williams. So very happy with him, supporting with him with a bunch of mares again this year. And I think he's got it all. So no doubt he'll make it as a sire.
You must think a lot of William Longsword to have taken a share in him.
Yeah, I must be honest, not just putting my hand in my pocket. It was a bit of a business decision from a partnership that myself, my dad, and Bernard Faderb had with cattle, and I just couldn't resist when he went to stud and said to the partners, obviously, listen, yeah, this was going to stud, is available, and I pushed a bit. My dad wasn't too impressed, but yeah, very lucky to have had the opportunity to do this, and I'm sure looking at him that I don't think he'll disappoint us.
The stallions are all very different looking individuals, but I couldn't fault any of them this morning. You must be thrilled with how they're looking. They're looking fantastic, and I've had a few compliments how beautiful their coats are for this time of year.
No, our team's done extremely well, Fee. We've got Charlie Pertnell here from Coolmore. And he does Northern and Southern Hemisphere stallions for Coolmore, and he was just saying to me as well, for this time, middle of winter, to have their coats looking like they do, he said he hasn't seen that around. So all the fair dues to our stallion crew. They've done a great job, and the stallions are looking absolutely magnificent.
Thank you very, very much for having us all here today. We're going to enjoy the afternoon, and you must enjoy the rest of the day and your birthday. Thank you, John.
Thanks, Fee, I appreciate it.
Our champion breeders of the season were the Slacks Maritzfontein and Wilgerbosdrift, and what a season they enjoyed, with their runners earning over 29 million rand in stakes. Fiona Ramsden catches up with Jessica Jell at Maritzfontein Stud.
With the season drawing to a close, Wilgerbosdrift and Maritzfontein are running away with this year's Breeders' Championship, and it's lovely to be here at Maritzfontein this morning. It's my first time, and what a beautiful farm. And I will be catching up with Jessica Jell. We'll be reflecting on what a wonderful season they've had. Jess, thank you very much for having us here today. As I said, my first time at the farm, and it's absolutely beautiful.
You're so welcome. I feel terrible it's your first time. I hope it's the first time of many.
Me too, absolutely fantastic. But what a wonderful position to be in. You look like you're going to get the Champion Breeders Award this year.
It's really exciting. We all feel so lucky, and I think particularly Wilgerbosdrift is smiling at the moment, because to have a mare like Halfway to Heaven and 2 brothers who have been so fantastic in the feature races this season is kind of phenomenal. So I think most of our drinks are on them, basically, but we're very proud to be in one big team. We hoped one day to be able to win the championship, but in no way did we ever dream we'd be able to do it so soon. So it's particularly special, and I think for Mum, I mean, this is really largely due to everything that's come from Wilgerbosdrift. So really big well done to them.
Yeah, fantastic. And of course the first one for the family, so it really is exciting.
Very, very special.
Now, going back to the start, obviously being the granddaughter of Bridget and Harry Oppenheimer and a daughter of Mary Slack, it was in your blood to take on racing and be in the industry. But were you always interested in horses when you were a child?
We were so lucky. We grew up on a farm in Fourways, and we got to ride ponies and grew up at the stables. Mum used to ride most days. My father rides as well, actually. And I have two very, very talented show jumping sisters. And although I like to ride, I'm a big wimp, so I'm a plodder. And I actually didn't have the racing bug for a long time. It wasn't until I went, it was one of the legs of the Triple Crown I went to with Grandma, dreading it actually, and wanting to make an excuse not to go. And I ended up going, and I met Mike and a whole bunch of his friends and had one of the best nights of my life. And I think after that I was hooked. So I think it was I would go to a July or a Met or something, but that really got me excited about racing.
Yeah, absolutely, because the passion has always been there with your family, and I see it's really carried through to you.
I'm very, very lucky to have Mum, and I managed to share a lot of happy times with Grandma over racing too.
And I saw your sister Rebecca, she had her first cut time with her colours running at Kenilworth last week, so she's also involved.
I know, it's so exciting. She just picked her colours out recently, a couple of months ago, and she bought her first horse, who hasn't run yet, but is in pre-training, I suppose. And then Lumiere she came in on because she really liked, she's kind of named after Beck, so it seemed appropriate. And it's such fun for her to have a horse with Eric in Cape Town. She recently moved to Cape Town from America. So I'm hoping the bug bites her hard, so I'll have an ally.
Absolutely. Yeah. And obviously Volkerbosdrift is a beautiful farm. Moritzfontein, my first time, is another beautiful farm. How did you actually come by them?
Moritzfontein, Grandma and Grandpa bought because Grandpa was standing for a seat in Parliament, and it was for Kimberley, and you had to have a residential address. And they had just started to get involved with horses, I think, and they found the farm. And they didn't have, that was 47, I think they bought the farm. And they didn't have a lot of horses, very few to begin with, and they would bring over a few mares from England, was how they began. And then, and much later on, Mum had a few mares here, and I think she always dreamed of having her own farm and wanted to be in the Cape. And she looked everywhere, and she didn't want to be exactly where everybody else was, so she started looking up the West Coast, and she saw Volkerbosdrift and fell totally in love with it, and bought it in, would have been sort of this time of year when it all looked green and beautiful and covered in wildflowers, and took us to go and see it Christmas the same year. And I remember thinking she'd completely lost her marbles. It was the hottest, dustiest, driest, but she has unbelievable vision, and she's turned it into something out of this world.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful, and the proof is in the pudding, because both farms are doing exceptionally well and are obviously good farms for breeding horses.
Definitely. I was so lucky, Mum and I getting involved with Moritzfontein. She obviously was from way back when, but for me, I managed to join a very successful top team that had been doing it for a long time. Mum started from scratch at Volkerbosdrift, which is even more impressive. But we have a really great camaraderie between the two farms, and although they're very different in terms of landscape and where they are, there are a lot of really special, good people on both farms. Everybody gets on really well. So, the Mum's big horse selling at the sales this year, but I had a friend who was sitting down at the stables, and the camaraderie between all the grooms shouting and cheering and being all excited was actually, I wish I'd been sitting down there and not in the ring, because it was so exciting.
Yeah, that's lovely, because one of my questions was, it's such a big operation. You obviously have to have a lot of meetings with Volkerbosdrift, decide where certain mares are going to go.
Mostly the mares will stick on their farms. Any horses that we send to the Cape we'll send down to Mum, and she'll obviously send mares up here who are coming to these stallions. There aren't, aside from Denom Platina and Ideal World, there aren't a whole lot of other stallions in this neck of the woods, so we'd probably send more down to the Cape. And there's a lot of helping one another out if there's a problem mare, or if there's a mare one of us can't get in foal. We kind of phone calls in between each other, and little secret, well, I'm sure my stallion will get it in foal, which is really fun and nice.
And you've got fantastic staff down from the managers to the grooms.
Really, really lucky on both farms, I would say. There's such a great team. And nothing, as you know, nothing works without a really great team. I have to say, every day I walk around here, I feel I kind of am reminded of how lucky and blessed I am to to be surrounded by so many great people.
Yeah, your staff have almost become like family. But you've got some wonderful stallions at both farms and some new kids on the block, which is really exciting. Tell us about those stallions.
I know, so exciting. Well, Flower Alley seems to be off to a brilliant start in this country. He's obviously done very well in America already. But I think people are starting to take proper notice here. So that's very exciting. And Fire Away, the Warfront horse has just arrived now at Wilgeborstdrift, so that's great. And he looks I saw him the day he got off the float, he looked great. I can only assume he looks even better now. And I know Mum's very excited. And then we've got Ideal World, our big man, who we all love and adore. And then Denon Platina, our new stallion by Deep Impact, who we're very excited about.
Yes, we're going to have a look at him this morning, but really exciting to have these new stallions. And of course, you've got lots of mares on both farms, and you must have some that are really, really well bred, and exciting to see them foaling down any moment now.
I know, I think it's all, I keep thinking it's any minute. I was looking at them all in I call it the ladies in waiting camp last night. And the grooms and I think we might have to do a sweepstake as to who's going to fall down first, because they all look like they're going to pop to me.
But do you have favourites? You must have a few favourite mares and foals you're getting excited about.
You always land up with a few favourites, not always for the right reasons. Sometimes they grow on you for a specific reason. Cherry on the Top's one of, I would say, everybody's favourite. She's a total sweetheart, and we all love her. Another Russia is in foal for the first time, so I'm extremely excited about her first foal. She's looking very pregnant, although Stevie keeps telling me it might be because I give her so many treats that she looks so fat. But she, so there are lots of lovely foals that we're waiting for, and quite a few we have who are barons and maidens who are getting ready, which I'm excited about. So hopefully the stallions can have some nice early covers.
Absolutely, yes, some exciting months ahead. Really something to look forward to. And you've got a few jockeys that you sponsor as well, which is lovely, keeps you a bit interested.
It's really nice, and it's so pride-making seeing your colours on the racetrack, even if it isn't for you. And Gavin Lorena's been doing brilliantly. I'm excited to see him on Buffalo Bill this weekend. And Craig Zaki, who seems to be winning all over the place. And obviously Simunga, who's a superstar. So we're really lucky. We have 3 great guys wearing our colours.
Absolutely fantastic, and they really are riding well. Now, it's been a phenomenal season for you. The absolute highlights for you, what would they be?
Celtic Sea's definitely been one. That was kind of wonderful. Huam and Rainbow Bridge. Rainbow Bridge winning the Met probably would have been my number one, but it was an emotional win as well as a spectacular win. And I think there's a kind of Chris Gerber magic out there. So I think a lot of people felt that. I know our box was very teary on Met Day, but in the most wonderful way. So I think that would have been my highlight of the year, racing-wise, definitely.
And your mum and yourself, you've had years of wonderful racing, which you must have enjoyed every moment of it all. But anything that stands out for you, any favourites that you've had over the years, winners-wise?
I think Ella de Vittoria will always stand out as a bit of a dream time, because she was just a tiny little bad-tempered, speckled grey horse. She ran 7 consecutive seconds. And people started to kind of write her off, and the more they did that, the more irritated Mum got. And then she just seemed to blossom and get better and better. And she was, I remember at the time thinking, this is just a dream game. This is so wonderful. So I think she would definitely stand out as one of those highlight moments for me and Mum.
Yeah, no, she was very special. And you've been with Stephen now for a long time, and you're married, and you make a really, really good team, and you're both very, very passionate for the sport. You put a lot of effort into it, and you love it. Do you both have sort of roles, and does Stephen have a role, something that he does to keep him busy the whole time?
Yes, I'm so lucky. I feel very lucky to be married to somebody who loves the farm as much as I do. Stevie really is passionate about Maritzfontein, and he works much harder than I do, I think, most of the time. Everybody kind of has fitted into their roles, and luckily both of our roles seem to be very different, so we're quite helpful to one another. And it does keep us very busy. He's much better on the racing front too than I am, understanding it much better than I do.
Well, it's a huge farm, and I'm looking forward to having a look around today. And you've also got some game on the farm, which is really lovely.
There's a lot of game farm, which is actually really nice. We have these very badly behaved warthogs who seem to escape from the game park side, and you will find them in horse camps eating horse food. I always think they would make fantastic roasts because they probably are crackling. They've had so much e-pole in them. You'll see lots of warthogs and kudu, and we have lovely game. Actually, we're very lucky.
Yeah, fantastic. What a beautiful thing to wake up to. Some lovely game and some lovely horses.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, fantastic. Well, as I said, we're going to have a good look around today, and we're going to have a nice look at the stallions. But thank you very much for taking the time to chat to us, and we wish you all the luck for next season. And I'm looking forward to seeing you pick up your award.
Thanks so much.
One of the new stallions on the block is Flower Alley. He stands at Maritzfontein Stud. Let's get an update on Flower Alley.
I love another colors, Bodymeister, Dullahan on the far outside. Here's the wire. I'll have another. Has won the Kentucky Derby. Keep Smiling is lashing home at the outside. Magic School from nowhere. Keep Smiling got there at the end.
Relay also coming strongly. It's going to be close. Relay coming strongly. Relay gets up to win it from Flower.
Smiley Carly's coming well. So is Sacred Ibis. Virtuoso and Smiley Carly. It's getting close. It goes to Smiley Carly.
Alibi Guy, though, is putting on the pressure now. And Alibi Guy together there on the outside with Steak and Ale. But Alibi Guy has a neck advantage. And it's going to be Alibi Guy.
From Alibi Guys on the outside, but it's Liberty Hall, and Liberty Hall's going on. Liberty Hall on the outside, Tree Tumber, Alibi Guy.
Famanda took the lead, Extrovert second, then comes Doubled Over and Vijeta, but Famanda too good. Famanda has won.
Baybury and Midwinter, but Baybury's going on in the closing stages. Baybury draws off to win it.
Beach Flower takes the lead from Lovely Loiry, and at 10-1, Beach Flower is the Lady Canterbury champion.
Time Thief is by champion sire Redute's Choice. He stands at Naddison Park in Hermanus. Time now to meet Time Thief.
Time Thief stands at Naddison Park, just outside of picturesque Hermanus. A multiple Grade 1 place sprinter and miler with a time form rating of 120, Time Thief is versatile and has the looks and conformation to go with it. His race record is more than exciting for South African breeders. Second in the Group 1 Caulfield Guineas over a mile, second in the Group 3 Danehill Stakes over 6 furlongs, second in the Group 3 Caulfield Guineas Prelude over 7 furlongs, and third in the Group 1 Australia Stakes over 6 furlongs. By champion sire and sire of sires Redute's Choice, who was a 3-parts brother to SA champion sprinter Laissez-Faire and a half-brother to the dam of SA Grade 1 2-year-old and 3-year-old Zodiac Ruler, he has the credentials to make it in South Africa. His dam, Procrastinate, is by a Mr. Prospector stallion, Jade Hunter, and she was a 6-time winner. She has produced 6 stakes performers and 4 dams of stakes performers. Time Thief is sire of In Her Time, a multiple Grade 1 and Grade 2 winner in Australia, with a time form rating of 121. He is also sired In Good Time, Velkoff, Rombaro, Happy Cash and Kingfield High Five, all winners in Australia, Hong Kong and Macau. In his first crop in South Africa, Time Thief sired a Grade 1 Alan Robertson 4th with Yes Sir I Can Boogie, trained by Gareth Van Zel.
My exposure to Time Thief has been very positive. Yes Strike and Boogie is very quick. I think she's going to be ultimately a very good 5 furlong filly, and probably best down the straight. Definitely a very fast and high class filly that we'll have a lot of fun with.
SA trainers have taken a liking to Time Thief, and notably Brett Crawford with Max Thief, who got off to a good start and has a bright future. Time Thief is a striking individual and stands for a fee of $25,000, $5,000 non-refundable nomination and $20,000 for a live foal. Please contact Charles van der Westhuizen at Naddison Park for bookings and inquiries.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's edition of Breeding to Win. Join us next week for our new headline sponsor announcement. Until next time, from myself, Julie Alexander, and the rest of the Breeding to Win team, good night.